I've arrived in Portknockie, and I really don't know why I've not come down this way before. Kind of even just driving along the coast is really beautiful. So the last couple of miles, you can drive pretty close to the shore, and yeah, you just pass beautiful little towns every few miles. And it's so this whole coastline that I've driven today, I can't quite remember the start and end point, but there is the Moray Coast path that you can walk pretty much the whole way. I believe it's suggested to do it in 4 sections. And after driving down this way now and seeing some of the coastline, that's definitely a hike that I'll have on my schedule for the future. But yeah, it's keep being surprised at how nice it is around here, even though the weather's not really nice. But hey, we've had no rain. It's just a cold wind. But yeah, otherwise pretty good. But yeah, I've just parked on the edge of town because I'm gonna go have a look at the Fiddle rock. But yeah, let's have a look. Alright, I'm all wrapped up again, so let's go have a look. Well, so it's just a very short walk from the car park, and you do get the great view of Fiddle rock straight away. And I'll show it to you in a second. But yeah, the Fiddle rock basically is a rocky arch that's obviously been created by the sea, and I do love all those kind of structures, and I just find they look really cool. So have a look. Looks nice, right? I can see there's a little path going down to the beach, so I'll just head down there and have a look from the bottom. And you know, yes, it's cold and windy, and I'm sure all of this would look even nicer when it's nice and sunny, but it's so cool to get all of these sites basically to myself. There's literally, there's one other car in the car park, but I've not seen anyone, and I'm sure in the summer this place will be quite overrun. So yeah, it's you know, there's positives and negatives to exploring in the winter, but the great thing is definitely you do get these places pretty much to yourself. Here we go, so we're a little bit closer now, so you can see that cool archway in the rock, and yeah. Right, there's some more paths kind of along the top of the cliffs here, so let's go have a look. There's another really cool cove beach there behind me, and something else I've actually not mentioned at all yet today. So all along the Moray Coast here, there is, when the weather's a bit nicer, let's say, there is a pretty good chance of spotting some dolphins out in the water, because there are quite a lot of dolphins that live around here, and also others that pass through, but with the wind that we're having today, of course it will be very hard to spot anything out at sea. But yeah, if you're coming down this coastline and the weather's nice, it's definitely worth having your eyes peeled out onto that water if you want to spot some dolphins. whole bunch of really good paths around this headland. Like you could walk a lot further than I have, but I'm headed back to the car. Starting to get a bit chilly again, so go warm up and drive to the next spot. I really love this kind of rough, rugged coastal scenery. Outside of, you know, the kind of mountain landscape, this is probably like my next favorite. Just these kind of sea cliffs and or where you can see that power of the ocean. So yeah, I'm really enjoying myself today. It's 2 o'clock now. We've still got a couple of hours of daylight. I do have one more stop in mind, but I also do need to get some lunch. So I'm just going to check the map and see if I want to do lunch first or my last stop of the day first. And yeah, make a plan. Okay, so I have decided to stop at my final stop of the day first, and then finding some lunch slash dinner, afternoon tea, whatever it's going to be afterwards. And just in the meanwhile, to tie me over, I'm going to have another one of my pastries. So yeah, because I believe this one's a little bit of a walk, not super far, but just a little bit. And we are going to be fighting against the wind. So where I'm at right now is at the car park for Findlater Castle, which is a castle ruin that's kind of been, I believe from the way it looks from on photos, it's been built into the side of the cliff. So yeah, pretty excited to see that. And I need to wrap up again. I'm also gonna change into my trail shoes, just so I've got some better grip, because apparently the terrain is a little bit rough. But yeah, let's get going. It's so windy now. Oh, actually no, just on the side of the building it's sheltering from the wind at the moment. But yeah, it's gotten really windy. Wind is, I think this is the worst of it at the moment. It is supposed to drop again a little bit towards the evening. But yeah, right now it's blowing a hoolie. But we've got the castle there below us, and there's some paths going down to it. I can see some people just coming back up, so yeah, let's head down closer. So the path down here is definitely manageable, but you need to be comfortable when walking on slippery ground. There seems to be a couple of different routes. I don't know if this other one here would have been better than the one I took, but yeah, just be very careful when you walk down here, especially if it has been raining, because yeah, if you do slip, bad news, there's quite some drop-offs parts of it. But yeah, we have arrived down at the castle, and you can see already we've got a big wall there, but then kind of getting to the main castle just about now. Whenever I see old structures like this literally built into the side of the cliff, I'm always amazed at how they did that hundreds of years ago, and how much work it must have taken to get them completed. But yeah, obviously something like this quite hard to access, so it would have been easily defendable, which was one of the most important things. in the past. But yeah, let's have a little bit of a nosy round. Wow. It is pretty amazing to see how much they're still standing on the edge of this cliff here so many years after it's been built. I mean, look at this wall here. It's basically fully intact. And the views when you were living here, pretty good. So there is a path down into the actual castle here, which still looks very solid. So let's have a peek inside. But yeah, I'm gonna be very careful. But it looks pretty solid. So yeah, here we go. So yeah, we've got 2 rooms here we can see at the moment. Some graffiti. But look at, as I said, the state of this wall. It's still in such good condition. And wow. So checking out the second room that you can access. And we are not going to go down, but you can see here it goes down onto a lower level. So you've got more rooms down there, and then another open window. Oh, it's crazy how sloped these rooms are. Obviously I think that's just kind of sediment that has settled. I'm sure when people actually lived here it was much more flat. But yeah, I love these kind of old ruins, and I find it amazing when they're just kind of left for you to explore. So in many places kind of all of this now would be completely locked off, or you'd have to, or you know, you'd have to pay some big entrance fee or something. But yeah, this is really cool. I'm loving it. There's another room you can access down there, but the entrance to that is a lot more use hands and feet, which I'm not going to do, but we're just going to have a peek here above the edge to see what else we have down there. Ew. Actually, let's head down there. Right, you could technically get down there, but that's a little bit too much climbing for me. This whole thing must have been pretty big initially. I mean, as I say, you've got a lot of like half walls like this still standing, which, I mean, it's hard to say what exactly they were, but I mean, even just that main keep down there, for a castle built into the cliffside. Pretty solid, I would say. But yeah, I think it's time to start heading back up. So I came down this little path here on the left hand side. There's another one going up just there. Looks a little bit less steep, so I think that might be the better path. But yeah, we'll find out. Oh yeah, so I came down here from the left hand side, kind of round the back there. But yeah, this path here definitely looks more manageable. So if you're coming down from the top, stick to the left. Right, so I'm pretty much back at the top of the cliff, and we were quite sheltered by the wind down there, but we're fully back in it now. And the way back to the car park, we'll have to walk into the wind, so it'll be a little bit harder. But yeah, definitely worth coming down here. Now, I've liked all of my stops today, but I can definitely say this one's the highlight so far. I love ruins, especially old castle ruins. And you know, when they're in an awesome location like this, even better. But yeah, definitely worth the hike down. But just again, the path down is very rough. It will be slippery, so just be careful when you go down and explore. If you're not sure you're quite steady enough on your feet, so you've got the viewpoint up here, and I mean, you do get great views of the castle from up here as well. But yeah, I'm out of breath from getting up the hill, but yeah, I'm just gonna head back to the car now. This was such a fun spot to explore. Oh, I'm so happy I stopped here. I also wasn't sure at first because of how windy it is, but completely doable and absolutely worth it. Like I said, probably my highlight of today. But yeah, on to food now. I'm getting pretty hungry after this walk. Alright, so I'm just parked around the corner from here in Banff Harbour car park, and I'm parked here because this is the town I'm staying in tonight. And I've had a look at some food, and I found a chippy that has some really good reviews, and where better to eat fish and chips than here on the Moray Coast that has a big fishing heritage. But yeah, the chippy doesn't open for another 15 minutes, so I just stopped here off for a minute. There's some toilets here in the harbour that are really nice and clean, awesome. But yeah, I'll head back to the car because it's absolutely freezing now, and we'll head to the chippies as soon as it opens. So I'm parked back up at the harbour, and I've got my fish and chips. Have a look at that. It smells really good, and yeah, I can definitely recommend that chippy. They cook everything fresh to order, so it does take a minute, and they do seem pretty busy, but yeah, really good quality. And I mean, this one cost me £6.40, I think, which is pretty good, and yeah, it looks really fresh. So yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, top marks. So I've just got some vinegar on it, and it's always, for me personally, it's always a sign of really nice fresh fish and chips if you don't need ketchup to drown it in. Yeah, I'm more than happy just having it with some salt and vinegar, and it tastes really good. Yeah, the place is called Freddy's, so yeah, if you're in Banff, definitely check it out. Alright, food is polished off, and that was so good. I've not had fish and chips in a while, and that was definitely worth it. But yeah, now it's time to head to where I'm going to sleep tonight, and tonight's a little bit different because I'm actually going to be sleeping in the car. Now, for most of this trip, I am planning on staying in hostels and just cheaper hotels and stuff, but I do want to have the option of sleeping in the car. So today is going to be a bit of a trial run. Now, I've slept in the car before, so I know that's possible, that's not an issue, but of course I've never had all of my stuff with me at the same time. Now, when I was loading the car, I did do a little bit of shuffling around, and basically what I need to be able to do is move all of my things, like pile it up on one side. I've also got the passenger seat here that I can use, so that I've got half of the back of the car to lie it down in and sleep. As I said, I've gave it a little bit of a try at home, and I do think it should work. But yeah, I have looked at a site just a little bit outside of Banff here, just kind of on the edge of town, that looks a little bit out of the way and a little bit sheltered as well, including nice views of the sea. Which, as far as I can tell, no restrictions of staying overnight, so that should be fine. But yeah, I want to try it out now, just so I know whether it's going to be a feasible option for the rest of the trip or not. Because, as I've mentioned before, I am hoping of doing the NC 500, and I will book accommodation for a couple of nights, but I also want to have the option of staying in the car if possible. You just have a lot more options of stopovers then, and it is the winter. A lot of places are still closed, so it's just you don't have that many options of places to stay. So yeah, I want to be able to stay in the car, and I thought, why not try it out this first night. For tomorrow and the next couple of nights, I have booked a travel lodge just outside of Aberdeen, because I do want to explore a bunch of Aberdeenshire more. But yeah, for tonight I'll try to set up in the car, and I do want to get that all sorted before it gets dark. Sunset is in about 30 minutes, I believe, so still plenty of time at the moment. But yeah, gonna drive over to where I want to park in a minute, and then we'll see if we can Tetris all of my stuff onto one side of the car. Okay, I think we are all set. There's not a ton of space, but we should be fine. And I do think there is actually more space than in my little backpacking tent. Definitely more headroom, because I can't sit up in my tent. But yeah, have a look. So basically got just my yoga mat at the bottom, just why not. And then I've got my Big Agnes Rapide on there, and my mattress topper over the top of it, because why not, it's in the car anyway. And then got my pillows, and then my duvet that I can crawl into. And if it gets too cold for whatever reason, as it shouldn't be that cold, but if it is, I do have my sleeping bag there as well. But yeah, it's not fully dark yet. I might just have a little stroll along the beach first, and then yeah, we are gonna crawl in and get comfortable. So I actually just crawled in, and this is so comfortable. You definitely don't want to be any bigger than I am. I'm 5'4", and I pretty much lengthwise fit in perfectly without needing to move the front seat anymore. But yeah, I'm very cozy. Now it has started to just drizzle a little bit, so I think some rain's coming. So yeah, I'm just gonna chill in here until I'm ready to go to sleep. I've got my Kindle with me, also got my laptop, so might as well do some editing. And of course, got my trusty phone here, so that's gonna keep me entertained. And yeah, I'll speak to you later. Alright, so I'm done with editing for now. I edited for nearly an hour and a half, but pretty much that's all I'm getting out of my laptop when I don't have anywhere to plug it in. I've got a MacBook Pro, so it's pretty decent, but the laptop is getting old. I bought it back in 2016 when I was at uni. So I think for it being that old, it still holds up pretty well. But yeah, I do need to get a new one pretty soon. But for now, it's still doing its job. It's just the battery on it, not the best anymore. And obviously editing is quite intense, so battery drains quite quickly. But yeah, I make good progress. I'll finish the rest of it in the hotel tomorrow. And yeah, it's close to 8 o'clock now. Not quite ready to go to sleep yet, but I'm just gonna read for an hour or two. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off for tonight. I hope you enjoyed our first day of adventures along the Moray Coast, and I'll see you in the morning.